Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see on the title, today I will be reviewing again, but this time I will review for the last time in this semester. I'm so happy today, and today I will review or more like storytelling about one of the novel that I have read in this semester. I really get immersed by this novel actually, and I will not to tell the reason why I love this book, but I hope you find the reason why I love this book. So let's get started. Okay, the title of this novel is The Sky is Falling, written by Sidney Sheldon. The story is about the famous anchor who involved into a problem with the well-known family, and the protagonist was Dana Evan, the famous anchor that I have mentioned before, who just returned from Sarajevo covering the event of the war there. Returning from Sarajevo, she adopted Kemal, a child who had lost an arm because of the war. And Dana has a boyfriend named Jeff. He is a former pitcher who is now a sport anchor and worked with Dana because he was injured, so he quit the pitching. But Jeff is a widower, and his ex-wife named Rahel. She is a famous model, and Jeff and Rahel are still on good terms. Okay, so the story begins with Dana interviewing Gary Winthrop, a philanthropist in Washington who has a large collection of paintings. But next day, Dana was called by her colleague named Matt. Dana was called to do a broadcast where the news content was Gary Winthrop was found dead. Yes. Gary died while dealing with a thief who stole some of his expensive painting collection. This incident made Matt unable to believe it because Gary death was the fifth tragedy of the Winthrop family. Yes. Previously, when Dana on Sarajevo, tragedy began with Gary's father, Taylor Winthrop, and his wife, or Gary's mother, died in a fire. 2 months later, their eldest son, or Gary's eldest brother, named Paul, was died in an automobile accident, and then 6 months. No, sorry. And then 6 weeks after Paul's death, Julie Winthrop died in skiing accident. Wow. Okay. After sensing something was wrong, Dana began investigating the Winthrop case. After she watched tapes about them and the tragedies, she also interviewed several people who worked with Winthrops, in particular with Taylor Winthrops. But most of them said that all the Winthrops were good and seemed to have no enemies. Until Dana finally met Taylor's former secretary named John Sinisi, who sued Taylor for some problem but eventually withdrew her lawsuit. When Dana asked why Joan did it to Taylor, her face turned to scared, and John refused to be interviewed again with Dana. But Dana tried to contact her again and again but was always rejected by John, until finally John wanted to meet Dana to reveal something about the Taylor, but while Dana was waiting for her, because in the next day, Dana and Joan made an appointment, and Joan didn't come. Matt, who knew Dana was visiting Joan, immediately contacted Dana and report that Joan had fallen from her apartment. Joan found it. Yeah. After Joan's incident, Dana became more eager to find out the truth and began to dig deeper into Winthrop's. And Dana found someone who close to Taylor's, and his name is Roger, and Taylor once worked with him. At first, Dana asked about her conspiracy about the Winthrops, and Rogers was not interested about the conspiracy, but in the end, he still helped Dana and gave his information to Dana. But Jeff, who noticed, reminded Dana because Roger was also the head of FRA like Taylor's was. FRA is Federal Research Agency, is a cover-up that spies on foreign intelligence agencies and intercepts their communication. Okay, beside Matt, actually there's Elliot, who also friend with Dana, and he is very kind. He's help a lot, and he pays a lot attention to Dana. Even Elliot find a new school for Camel because Camel is got bullied in previous schools. When Dana was busy with her work, Rachel contacted Jeff again. Yes, you heard me right. And she contacted Jeff because Rachel was diagnosed with breast cancer, and which was quite severe. So Jeff went to Rachel to accompany her through the treatment. Because in her mission to uncover her theories, Dana is required to go aboard as well as Jeff, and Matt Camel is alone in Washington. Because of this, Dana forced to hire a new sitter for Camel and meets Dali, a person that Pamela introduced to her. Pamela is Roger's wife. Dana was really happy that Camel and Dali got along, and Dana's first stop is Aspen, where Taylor and his wife died in a fire accident. Dana discovered that the cause of they died is electrical short, and the person who fixed the electricity is missing. Then Dana flies to Paris to investigate Paul's death and flies to Alaska to investigate Julie's case. After that, Dana returned to Washington for Christmas. Dana after But Dana left the Christmas party after getting info that Taylor once did business with a person named Xander. Xander is in prison for manipulating stock. While Xander is in prison, his wife and child die from a fire like Taylor and his wife. But when Dana meets Xander, he said Taylor was from him, and this makes Dana thinks that Xander is killed Taylor, but actually is not him. And unbeknownst to Dana, it turned out that her journey is being followed by a mysterious group of people. Next, Dana went to Rome to meet Mancino, who also had business with Taylor before, and in the meeting, Dana know that Taylor did something cruel to Mancino's daughter, and this made Mancino really hate Taylor. But again, it's not Mancino that killed Taylor, and Dana's conspiracy became even more so when she heard that Taylor was very passionate about the Russian plane. Dana met Sasa, who knew all of Winthrop's truths. Sasa told her about what business that Taylor was engaged in Russia, but Sasa said Taylor was very greedy about himself because of when his business partner had learned how to do the work, Taylor killed his partner work. But Sasa told to Dana that her life is in danger because she is being spied on, so Sasa asked Dana to help her to get out of Russia. Because Dana was confused about where to ask help, she finally asked Roger for help her and Sasa to get out to Russia. Dana also told the Sasa apartment to Roger. But when Dana was going to pick up Sasa in Sasa apartment, Dana found Sasa dead from being shot and Sasha's body covered with her own blood. Long story short, it turned out that the one who has been spying on Dana and Sasha and who killed Sasha and John is Jack Stone. Jack Stone was ordered by Roger. According to Sasha's message, if she died, Dana have to run away by herself back to Washington. No plane, no taxi. And sure enough, Dana is being chased by the people of Roger and Jack. Dana went to airport and returned to Washington as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Jeff also returns to Washington after Rachel treatment ends and Kemal ran away from home after knowing that Deli is a bad person. Deli is also Roger's team, and once Dana arrived in Washington, immediately she has to find Kemal. And Kemal was trapped by Jack. The end of the story is Jeff and Matt saving Kemal from a bomb and also saving Dana from a plane which also has bomb on it. Jeff, Kemal, and Dana live happily ever after. Okay, this is the end of the story. I hope that you engage why I love this book, and I really recommend you to read this book also or the other works of Sidney Sheldon's novel because I loved how Sidney Sheldon her works. And this book also very popular in my English corner in my department. So yeah, see you in another video. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.